I was going to land in Brize Norton Airport on New Year's Eve morning, and I was going to be back in time for the partying on New Year's Eve. So I was going to have a slightly delayed Christmas, so it kind of made the whole thing easier to deal with.
I went to my parents to have Christmas with them, and then he was obviously flying back, so I had to pick him up, and we was going to have New Year's together. So it's just a case of we was going to have 2 Christmases.
You want to be back home and, you know, celebrating with your loved ones. And there I was out baking in the desert sun, going on foot patrols, trying to keep these civilians safe out in Afghanistan. So I think it always goes through your mind. You know, the minute you step out that gate, is you think back to your loved ones and, you know, what they're doing, and you hope you come back safe.
I wonder what she was doing.
I have no idea.
I got to my parents a couple of days before Christmas, and he had sent a lovely bouquet of flowers and a teddy bear and that, so and a nice little card saying, sorry, I missed Christmas this year, but I'll make it up in a few days. So that was really nice.
We were in a little shallow bowl for cover. That's the only cover that we could get. As I knelt down, there was this huge explosion, and there's this huge cloud of dust, so I couldn't see anything. You know, my ears were ringing from the explosion. My head, you know, brain was rattling around in my head, and I remember thinking, you know, I need to turn around because I thought this area was behind me. And probably the third time that in my head I said to myself, turn around, something clicked, you know, that I wasn't moving and I couldn't twist like I imagined I would. Even though I couldn't see anything, I would know what position my body was going to be in. And then again, almost in slow motion, the dust started to settle gradually further and further down. And that's when I looked down and, you know, I saw the damage to both my legs.
God, I got the news about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I remember I was sat in my parents' living room just wrapping the last bits of the presents, and Mark's sister phoned, and she said, I'm at my nan and granddad's, and I was like, oh, okay, not really thinking much of it, and she was like, there's a Marine officer here. I was like, okay, it still didn't kind of hit me, and she was like, oh, Mark's been in an accident. Oh, I've spoken this so many times, I don't know why. And I just had to pass through to my dad. And my dad spoke to Leanne, and he got off the phone, and it just said, Mark's lost a leg. He's all right, but he's lost a leg. And all I could think, we had a couple of conversations before he went out to Afghan, and he said, I'd rather come back in a box than with any limbs missing. So that's all I could think about. My God, what's he going to be like? He's lost a leg. And then a bit later on, we spoke to his dad, and it was a leg and an arm. And then at that point I was like, oh my goodness, it's going to destroy him, absolutely destroy him. And it wasn't until a bit later that obviously we found out it was both legs and an arm.